In case of the potassic phosphatic fertilizer, use of single superphosphate will be encouraged through greater extension work. This fertilizer is manufactured entirely in the domestic sector. Enhanced production would bring down our dependence on imports of P and K sector. Government has recently announced financial package of rupees 3,884 crore for waiver of loans of handloom weavers and their cooperative societies. In addition to 4 mega handloom clusters already operationalized, I am now happy to announce 2 more mega clusters, one to cover Prakasam and Guntur districts in Andhra Pradesh and the other for Godda and neighboring districts in Jharkhand. I also propose to provide assistance in setting up of the dormitories for women workers in 5 mega clusters relating to handloom, powerloom and leather sectors. The Ministry of Textile runs Weaver Service Center in different parts of the country for providing technical support to poor handloom weavers. I propose to set up 3 such centers, one each in Mizoram, Nagaland and Jharkhand. I am also happy to announce 500 crore pilot scheme in the 12th plan for promotion and application of geotextiles in the northeast region. To address the need for the local artisans and weavers, I propose to set up a powerloom mega cluster in Ichalkaranji in Maharashtra with a budget allocation of rupees 70 crore. In order to enhance availability of the equity to MSME sector, I propose to set up rupees 5,000 crore India's Opportunities Venture Fund with SIDBI. The small and medium enterprises are the building blocks of our economy. They rely primarily on loans from banks and informal sources to raise capital. To enable these enterprises greater access to finance, 2 SMEs exchanges have been launched in Mumbai recently. With the objective of promoting market access of the micro and small enterprises, government has approved a policy which requires ministries and CPSEs to make a minimum 20% of their annual purchase from the MSEs. Of these, 4% will be earmarked for procurement from MSEs owned by the SC/ST enterprises. Madam Speaker, I now take up agriculture. Agriculture will continue to be a priority for the government. The total plan outlay for the Department of Agriculture and Cooperation is being increased by 18% from 17,123 crore in 2011 to 20,208 crore in 2012-13. The outlays for the Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana is being increased from 7,860 crore in 11-12 to 9,217 crore in 12-13. I am happy to inform the House that the initiative of bringing green revolution to Eastern India has resulted in a significant increase in production and productivity of paddy. States in the Eastern India have reported additional paddy production of 7 million tons in Kharif season of 2011. Therefore, I propose to increase the allocation for this scheme from 400 crore in 2011-12 to rupees 1,000 crore for the year 2012-13. This year under RKVY, I also propose to allocate 300 crore to Bidor Intensified Irrigation Development Program. This scheme seeks to bring in more farming areas under protective irrigation. The government intends to merge the remaining activities into a set of missions to address the needs of agricultural development in the 12th five-year plan. These missions are National Food Security Mission, which aims to bridge the yield gap in respect of paddy, wheat, pulses, millet and fodder. Ongoing integrated development of pulses villages, promotion of nutri, cereals and accelerated fodder development program would now become a part of this mission. National Mission on Sustainable Agriculture, including micro-irrigation, is being taken up as a part of the National Action Plan on Climate Change. The Rain-Fed Area Development Program will be merged with this. National Mission on Oilseeds and Oil Palm aims to increase the production and productivity of the oilseeds and oil palms. National Missions on Agricultural Extensions and Technology focuses on adoption of appropriate technologies by farmers for improving productivity and efficiency in farm operations. National Horticulture Mission aims at horticulture diversification. This will include the initiative on saffron. Mission for protein supplement is being strengthened to improve the productivity in the dairy sector. Rupees 2,242 crore project is being launched with the World Bank assistance to broaden the scope of production of fish to coastal aquaculture. Apart from freshwater aquaculture, the outlay for 2012-30 is being stepped up to rupees 500 crore. Suitable allocations are also being made for poultry, piggery and goat rearing. Farmers need timely access to affordable credit. I propose to raise the target for agricultural credit in 2012-13 to 5,75,000 crores. This represents an increase of 1 lakh crores over the target for the current year. The interest subvention scheme for providing short-term crop loans to farmers at a 7% interest per annum will be continued in 2012-13. An additional subvention of 3% will be available to prompt paying farmers. In addition, the same interest subvention on post-harvest loan up to 6 months against negotiable warehouse receipt will also be available. This will encourage the farmers to keep their produce in warehouses. A short-term RRB credit refinance fund is being set up to enhance the capacity of the regional rural banks to disburse short-term crop loans to the small and marginal farmers. I propose to allocate rupees 10,000 crore to NABARD for refinancing the RRBs through this fund. Kishan Credit Card is an effective instrument for making agricultural credit available to the farmers. KCC scheme will be modified to make KCC a smart card which could be used at ATMs. Food security and agricultural development in the coming decades would depend upon scientific and technological breakthrough in raising productivity. We have to develop plant and seed varieties that yield more and can resist climate change. I propose to set aside a sum of rupees 200 crore for incentivizing research with rewards both for institutions and the research team responsible for such scientific breakthrough. Unless we recognize water as a resource, the day is not far when the water stress will start threatening our agricultural production. Focus on micro-irrigation schemes to dovetail these with water harvesting scheme is necessary to maximize the flow of the benefits from investment in irrigation projects. Structural changes in accelerated irrigation benefit program are being made. The allocation for AIBP in 2012-13 is being stepped up by 13% to 14,242 crore. To mobilize large resources to fund irrigation projects, a government-owned irrigation and water resource finance company is being operationalized. The company would start its operation in 2012-13 by focusing on financing the subsectors like micro-irrigation, contract farming, wastewater management and sanitation. A flood management project for Kandi subdivision of the Murshidabad district has been approved by the Ganga Flood Control Commission at a cost of rupees 439 crore to be taken up for funding under the flood management program. The flood processing sector has been not my constituency. The flood processing sector has been growing at an average rate of over 8% over the past 5 years. In order to have a better outreach and to provide more flexibility to suit local needs, it has been decided that a new centrally sponsored scheme, National Mission on Food Processing, would be started in cooperation with the state governments in 2012-13. The government has taken steps to create additional food grain storage capacity in the country. Creation of 2 million tons of storage capacity in the form of modern silos has already been approved. Nearly 15 million tons capacity is being created under the Private Entrepreneurs Guarantee Scheme, of which 3 million tons of storage capacity will be added by the end of 2011-12 and 5 million would be added next year. Let me now take up proposals for inclusive development. From the year 2011-12, allocations for being made for scheduled caste subplan and tribal subplan under the separate minor heads as part of the plan allocations. In 2012-13, the allocation for SC/ST is 37,113 crores, which represents an increase of 18% over 2011-12. Allocations for TSP in 2012-13 is 21,710 crores, representing an increase of 17.6% over 2011-12. Our government has taken definitive steps to create food security in the household level by making a food legal entitlement for all targeted people, especially for the poor and vulnerable segments of our population. National Food Security Bill 2011 is before the Parliamentary Standing Committee. To ensure that the objective of the National Food Security Bill are effectively realized, a public distribution system network is being created using the Aadhaar platform. A national information utility for the computerization of PDS is being created. It will become operational by December 2012. Following the decisions taken in the Prime Minister's National Council on India's nutritional challenges, a multi-sectoral program to address the maternal and child malnutrition in selected 200 burden districts is being rolled out during 2012-13. It will harness synergies across nutrition, sanitation, drinking water, primary health care, women education, food security, and consumer protection scheme. In this context, Integrated Child Development Services Scheme is being strengthened and restructured for 2012-13. An allocation of 15,850 crores has been made against rupees 10,000 crores in 2011-12. This amounts an increase of over 58%. National Program of Midday Meals in Schools has enhanced enrollment, retention, attendance, and also helped in improving nutrition levels among the children. In 2012-13, I propose to allocate 11,937 crores for this scheme as against 10,380 crores in 11-12. Rajiv Gandhi scheme for empowerment of adolescent girls, Shabala, has been introduced last year with a view to address the nutritional needs and other educational and skill development initiatives for self-development of the adolescent girls in the age group of 11 to 18 years. For 2012-13, an allocation of rupees 750 crores has been proposed for the scheme. Along with the water quality, poor sanitation is one of the factors contributing to the malnourishment. Honourable members will be happy to know that I propose to increase the budgetary allocation for rural drinking water and sanitation from 11,000 crores in 2011-12 to 14,000 crores in 2012-13. This is an increase over 27%. Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana has been a successful program. 2012-13, I propose to raise the allocation by 20% in this scheme by providing 24,000 crores. It will accelerate connectivity in the state. Major initiative has been proposed to strengthen panchayat across the country through the Rajiv Gandhi Panchayat Sashaktikaran Abhiyan. This program will expand on the existing schemes for panchayat capacity building. In my budget speech last year, I had referred to our focus on the development of the backward regions. We have decided to carry the backward region grant fund scheme into the 12th plan with an enhanced allocation of rupees 12,040 crores in 2012-13, an increase of about 22% over BE of 2011-12. This includes the state component, which covers projects in the backward areas in Bihar, West Bengal, and Kalahandi, Bolangir, Koraput regions of Odisha. Development projects for drought mitigation in the Bundelkhand region and projects under the Integrated Action Plan to accelerate the pace of development in selected tribal and backward districts. This year I propose to enhance the allocation under Rural Infrastructural Development Fund to 20,000 crores of rupees. Further, in view of the warehousing shortage in the country, I propose to earmark an amount of rupees 5,000 crores from the above allocation exclusively for creating warehousing facilities under RIDF. The Right of Education Act is being implemented with effect from April 1, 2010 through Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan. For 2012-13, I have provided 25,555 crores for RTE SSA. This is an increase of 21.7%. In the 12th plan, 6,000 schools have been proposed to be set up at block levels as model schools to benchmark excellence. Of these, 2,500 will be set up under public-private partnership. Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan was launched in March 2009 to enhance the access to quality secondary education. In 2012-13, I have allocated 3,124 crores for RMSA, which is nearly 29% higher than the allocation for 2011-12. A scheme for education loan is being implemented by banks to ensure better flow to credit for the deserving students. I propose to set up a credit guarantee fund for this purpose. Health. They say persistence pays. I am happy to inform honorable members that no new case of polio was reported in the last 1 year. By modernizing existing units and setting up a new integrated vaccine unit near Chennai, the government will achieve vaccine security and keep the pressure on disease eradication and prevention. National Rural Health Mission is being implemented through accorded social health activists. The scope of ASA's activities is being enlarged to include the prevention of the iodine deficiency disorders, ensure 100% immunization, and better spacing of the children. At the community level, a more active role is envisaged for ASA. As the convener of the Village Health and Sanitation Committee, is as also to support the initiative on malnutrition. Since ASAs receive activity-wise performance-based payments, this will also enhance their remuneration. I propose to increase the allocation to NRHM from 18,115 crore in 2011-12 to 20,822 crore for 2012-13. National Urban Health Mission is being launched to encompass the primary health care needs of the people in the urban areas. Pradhan Mantri Swasth Suraksha Yojana, aimed at setting up of AIIMS-like institutions and upgradation of existing government medical colleges, is being expanded to cover upgradation of 7 more government medical colleges. It will enhance the availability of the affordable tertiary health care. The Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme has had a positive impact on the livelihood security. For the first time, there is an effective floor wage rate for the rural workers. Distress migration has come down. Community assets have been created. Productivity, barren and fallow lands has gone up. The need for improving quality of the assets and bringing about greater synergy between MG Narega and agriculture and allied rural livelihoods is being addressed. The Swarn Jayanti Gram Swarojkar Yojana has been restructured into National Rural Livelihood Mission to provide self-employment opportunities. A subcomponent, Mohila Kisan Sashактikaran Pariyojana, under NRLM seeks to provide better targeting of the women farmers. For NRLM, I propose to increase the allocation by over 34% from 2,914 crores to 3,915 crores in 2012-13. The last year's budget, I had announced creation of a women's self-help group fund. This has been set up in NABARD. In 2012-13, I propose to provide rupees 200 crores to enlarge the corpus to 300 crores. This fund will also support the objectives of Ajivika, that is the National Rural Livelihood Mission. It will empower women self-help groups to access bank credit. I propose to provide interest subvention to women self-help groups, avail loans up to rupees 3 lakh at 7% per annum. Women self-help groups that repay loans in time will get additional 3% subvention, reducing the effective rate to 4%. The initiative in the first phase would focus on selected 600 blocks of 150 districts, including the left-wing extremist affected area. It is proposed to establish the Bharat Livelihoods Foundation of India through Ajivika. The foundation would support and scale up the civil society initiatives and interventions, particularly in the tribal regions, covering around 170 districts. Private trusts and philanthropic organizations should be encouraged to partner with the autonomous body that will be managed professionally. To encourage micro-enterprises, a credit-linked subsidy program, namely the Prime Minister's Employment Generation Program, is being implemented through KVIC. Allocation for this program has been increased by 23% from 1,037 crore in 2011 to rupees 1,276 crores in 2012-13. In 2011-12, National Skill Development Corporation approved 26 new projects, thereby doubling the number of the projects sanctioned since 2009 to 52, with a total funding commitment of 1,205 crore. At the end of 10 years, these projects are expected to train 6.2 crore persons and augment the vocational training capacity by 1.25 crore per year in the private sector. NSDC partners have opened 496 permanent and 29 mobile centers in 220 districts across 24 states. More than 89,500 persons have been trained and almost 80% of them are employed. Under NSDC, 10 sector skill councils have been sanctioned. Of these, 3 skill councils for automobile, security and retail sectors have become operational. For 2012-13, I propose to allocate 1,000 crore to National Skill Development Fund. In order to improve the flow of institutional credit for skill development, I propose to set up separate credit guarantee fund. This will benefit youth in acquiring market-oriented skills. A new scheme titled Himayat was introduced in Jammu and Kashmir from 2011-12. It aims to provide skill training to 1 lakh youth in the next 5 years. The entire cost of this program is being borne by the center. Social security and needs for the weaker sections. I am raising the allocation under the National Social Assistance Program by 37% from rupees 6,158 crore to rupees 8,447 crore in 2012-13. Under the ongoing Indira Gandhi National Widow Pension Scheme and Indira Gandhi National Disability Pension Scheme for BPL beneficiaries, monthly pension amount per person is being raised from 200 to rupees 300. On the death of primary breadwinner of a BPL family in the age group of 18 to 64 years, a lump sum grant of rupees 10,000 is presently provided under National Family Benefit Scheme. I propose to double this amount to rupees 20,000 and expect a matching contribution from the state governments. In order to promote voluntary savings towards the pensions, a co-contributory scheme, Swavalamban, was started in September 2010. Over 5 lakh subscribers have been enrolled by February 2012. In order to enhance access to this scheme, LIC has been appointed as an aggregator, and all public sector banks have also been appointed as points of presence and aggregators. The driving force of modern nation is the research and the creation of the new knowledge. With this in mind, I propose to provide rupees 25 crore to the Institute of the Rural Management, Anand, rupees 50 crore to establish a world-class center for water quality with focus on arsenic contamination in Kolkata, rupees 100 crore for Kerala Agricultural University, rupees 50 crore for University of Agricultural Science, Dharwad, Karnataka, rupees 50 crore for Chaudhary Charan Singh Haryana Agricultural University, Hisar, rupees 50 crore to Odisha University of Agriculture and Technology, rupees 100 crore to Acharya N.G. Ranga Agricultural University in Hyderabad, rupees 15 crore to National Council for Applied Economic Research. Rupees 10 crore to Rajiv Gandhi University, Department of Economics, Itanagar, Arunachal. Rupees 10 crore to Siddharth Vihar Trust, Gulbarga, to establish a Pali language research center. In the budget for 2012-13, a provision of rupees 1,93,407 crores has been made for the defence services. Please. Which includes 79,579 crores for capital expenditure. As always, this allocation is based on the present needs, and any further requirement for the security of the nation would be met. Government is making efforts to increase the availability of the residential quarters to forces. In 2012-13, it is envisaged to construct nearly 4,000 residential quarters for Central Armed Police Forces, for which 1,185 crore is proposed to be allocated. A provision of rupees 3,280 crore for 2012-13 has also been made for constructions of the office buildings, including land acquisition and barracks for accommodation of 27,000 personnel. The scheme to create a national population register is progressing well. It is likely to be completed within the next 2 years. Government is also considering a proposal of issuing resident identity cards bearing the Aadhaar numbers to all residents who are of age of 18 years and above to help in the e-governance initiative. I now address some concerns in governance. Enrollment in the Aadhaar systems have crossed 20 crores and Aadhaar numbers generated up to date have crossed 14 crores. I propose to allocate adequate funds to complete another 40 crore enrollments starting from April 1, 2012. Aadhaar platform is now ready to support the payments for MG Narija, old age, widow and disability pensions, scholarships directly to the beneficiary accounts in selected areas. Last year I had outlined a 5-pronged strategy to tackle and melee of generation and circulation of the black money and its illegitimate transfer outside India. Government has taken a number of proactive steps to implement this strategy. As a result, 82 double taxation avoidance agreements and 17 tax information exchange agreements have been finalized, and information regarding bank accounts and assets held by Indians abroad has started flowing in. In some cases, prosecution will be initiated. Dedicated exchange of information cell for speedy exchange of tax information with treaty countries is fully functional in CBDT. India became the 33rd signatory of the Multilateral Convention on Mutual Administrative Assistance in tax matters. Directorate of Income Tax Criminal Investigation has been established. I propose to lay on the table the House a white paper on black money in the current session of Parliament. Government is committed to enactment of public procurement legislations to enhance confidence in the public procurement and to ensure transparency and efficiency in the process. The bill in this regard is to be introduced in the budget session of Parliament. Following legislative measures for strengthening the anti-corruption framework are in various stages of enactment. Prevention of Money Laundering Amendment Bill 2011 introduced in Parliament with a view to bring certain provisions of the Act in line with global standards. Benami Transactions Prohibition Bill 2011 is currently being examined by the Standing Committee on Finance. It would replace the Benami Transactions Prohibitions Act 1988. And National Drugs and Psychotropic Substance Bill 2011 introduced in Parliament with a view to strengthen the legal provisions for implementation of the national policy on narcotics, drugs and psychotropic substance. Madam Speaker, I now turn to the budget estimates for the year 2012-13. The gross tax receipts are estimated at rupees 10,77,612 crore, which is an increase of 15.6% over the budget estimates and 19.5% over the revised estimates for 2011-12. As a percentage of GDP, gross taxes are estimated at 10.6% in BE 2012-13 as against 10.4% in BE 2011-12. After a devolution to the states, the net tax to centre in 2012-13 is rupees 7,71,071 crore. The non-tax revenue receipts for 2012-13 are estimated at 1,64,614 crore and non-debt capital receipts rupees 41,650 crore. The temporary arrangement to use disinvestment proceeds for capital expenditure in social sector scheme is being extended for one more year, 2012-13. Total expenditure for 2012-13 is budgeted at rupees 14,90,925 crore. Of this, the planned expenditure for 2012-13 is 5,21,025 crore, which is 18% higher than the budget estimates for 2011-12. This is higher than 15% increase projected in the approach to the 12th plan for 2012-13. I am happy to inform the honourable members that in the 11th plan, we have been able to meet 99% of the total plan outlay. The non-plan expenditure for 2012-13 is budgeted. The non-plan expenditure for 2012-13 is budgeted at rupees 9,69,900 crore, which is 8.7% higher than the revised estimates for 2011-12 and 18.8% higher than budgeted estimates for 2011-12. This increase is mainly on account of the higher provisions for major subsidies. While making adequate provisions for funding the desirable subsidies as indicated earlier, I am determined to contain the increasing subsidy burden through measures including improved targeting. Planned and non-planned resources transferred to the states and union territories, including the direct transfer to state and district level implementing agencies, are 3,65,216 crore in BE 2012-13. This includes rupees 18,655 crore of grants to the local bodies as per recommendations of the 13th Finance Commission. The year 2011-12 was one of the challenges for fiscal management. Due to the slower economic growth, direct tax collection fell short of by rupees 32,000 crore of the budget estimates. At the same time, the government absorbed duty reduction in petroleum sector with the annual revenue loss of rupees 49,000 crore. The government had to incur higher expenditure on petroleum and fertilizer subsidy to insulate the people from rising prices. While the outgo on account of subsidies increased, I have ensured that entire amount is given in cash and not as bonds in lieu of subsidies. This is in line with the approach that I outlined in the budget speech of 2010-11. The combined effect of the road tax and disinvestment receipts and higher expenditure, mainly on account of subsidies, has pushed the fiscal deficit to 5.9% of GDP in the revised estimates for 2011-12. However, I have made a determined effort to come back to the path of fiscal consolidation in the budget for 2012-13 by bringing a fiscal deficit at 5,13,590 crore, which is 5.1% of GDP. After taking into account other items of financing, the net market borrowings through debted securities to finance this deficit is 4.79 lakh crore. With this, the total debt stock at the end of 2012-13 would work out at 45.5% of GDP as compared to the 13th Finance Commission target of 50.5% GDP. The effective revenue deficit in budget estimate for 2012-13 works out at rupees 1,85,752 crore, which is 1.8% of GDP. Madam Speaker, I now come to part B of my proposals. Harin is encouraging me by raising his hands. Madam Speaker, the life of a finance minister is not easy. Various players, including policymakers, politicians, I humbly aspect Joshiji. Various players, including policymakers, politicians, agriculturists and business houses, participate in the making of the economy. When everything goes well with the economy, we all share in the joy. However, when things go wrong, it is the finance minister who is called upon to administer the medicine. Economic policy, as in medical treatment, often requires us to do something which in the short run may be painful, but is good for us in the long run. As Hamlet, the Prince of Denmark, said in Shakespeare's immortal words, I quote, I must be cruel, only to be kind, unquote. With these reminders, let me now turn to my tax proposals. Last year I had set the compass for movement towards DTC in direct taxes and GST in the indirect taxes. My tax proposals for fiscal year 2012-13 mark further progress in that direction. First, good news. I shall now deal with the direct taxes. Last year I provided relief to individual taxpayers by enhancing the exemption limit as a move towards DTC rates. Although DTC will not be effective from this year, I propose to introduce the DTC rates as original. For personal income tax, I propose to enhance the exemption limit for general category of individual taxpayers from 1,80,000 to rupees 2 lakh. These measures will provide tax relief up to 2,000 to every taxpayer of this category. I also propose to raise the upper limit of the 20% tax slab from 8 lakh to 10 lakh. The proposed personal income tax slabs are as follows. Income up to rupees 2 lakh, nil. Income above 2 lakh and up to 5 lakh, 10%. Income above 5 lakh and up to 10 lakh, 20%. Income above 10 lakh, 30%. These changes will provide substantial relief to the taxpayers. I propose to allow individual taxpayers a deduction up to rupees 10,000 for interest from the savings bank accounts. This would help a large number of small taxpayers with salary incomes up to rupees 5 lakh and interest from savings bank accounts up to rupees 10,000, as they would not be required to file income tax returns. Within the existing limit of deduction allowed for the health insurance, I propose to allow a deduction up to 5,000 for preventive health checkup. Senior citizens who do not have any income from business are proposed to be exempted from the payment of advance tax. This will reduce their compliance burden. In the case of corporates, I am not proposing any change in the tax rates. However, I propose certain measures to allow corporates to access lower cost funds and to promote higher level of investments in several sectors. In order to provide the low cost funds to some stressed infrastructure sector, the rate of withholding tax on interest payments on external commercial borrowing is proposed to be reduced from 20% to 5% for 3 years. These sectors are power, airline, roads and bridges, port and shipyards, affordable houses, fertilizer and dams. The restrictions on venture capital funds to invest only in the 9 specified sectors is proposed to be removed. It is further proposed to remove the cascading effect of the dividend distribution tax in a multi-tier corporate structure. I also propose to continue to allow repatriation of the dividends from the foreign subsidiaries of Indian companies to India at a lower tax rate of 15% as against the tax rate of 30% for 1 more year, that is up to 31st March 2013. Investment links deduction of the capital expenditure incurred in the following business is proposed to be provided at the enhanced rate of 150% as against the current rate of 100%. Cold chain facility, warehouses for storage of food grains, hospitals, fertilizers, affordable housing. The following new sectors are proposed to be added to the purposes of investment-linked deduction: